My little pony, my little pony.
Welcome to Bronyville. This is Bronyville episode 43, recorded on February 26, 2012. I am your host, Apple Cider. Hey everyone, thanks for downloading the show, listening in. Great to have you listening to our show again. I am chefless. He had all his fun last week, and then he just left me to brave another show all on my lonesome. So we filled in the ranks as well as I could. Filling in for him this week is resident other Texan, Jay Hoof.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
how you doing?
Well, and just to remind them, what do you do again?
I run the Texas meetups, and I've actually started my own podcast since I was last on here.
And what would that podcast be?
It'd be the Cutie Mark Crusaders equivalent of Brony podcast, the Rowdy Rough Bronies.
Hey, there you go. That works. So go ahead and check those guys out. You got a new thing, and supposedly you're updating soon, or updating again shortly. All right. Our next guest is going by the moniker here of Giant Mosquito. Hello, and he is phoning in.
Howdy.
On the line. Giant, what do you do?
I am the evil genius behind the Dr. Adorable Sing-Along blog.
A lot of the crazy crossover Dr. Horrible / Fluttershy.
Right.
a lot of adorable crying and just general adorableness.
That's the one. I also draw miscellaneous ponies. So.
Yes, a PhD in adorableness. All right, well, super cool, super awesome to have you guys on. Jay Hoof, since you are a returning champion, you will only have to answer the first 2 questions. Unfortunately, Giant, you will have to answer all 4 of the 4 questions that we have to ask every single person who comes onto the show. First, Jay Hoof, let's go ahead and just knock your 2 out of the way. Let's double check on you. What is favorite character and favorite episode?
Favorite character, as per usual, is Rarity. I'm a Rarity fanboy. Can't get enough of her. And my favorite episode's actually changed since last time.
Ooh, this is why we do these updates.
Last time it was a Dog and Pony show. This time it's Lesson 0 and Hearts and Hooves Day.
Interesting. Let's see. Neither of those are too Rarity heavy. Interesting.
I know. It's quite shocking.
You're just abandoning. You're like, I like her, but I like these other ones too.
Well, she doesn't know yet.
Oh,
thankfully.
She's not coming down on you yet. Hoof. I want to say none of those were my episodes.
Really?
I didn't notice. Huh? What do you know? All right. Let's move forward a little bit. Giant. What about you? Let's start with the first one. Favorite character.
Favorite character, if you couldn't guess already, is Fluttershy. Rarity runs a very close second.
Starry, who is mic'd up this week, is applauding your choice of Fluttershy, it appears. I couldn't see that with the blog, really. It's
not obvious at all.
It's a mystery, isn't it?
It's a mystery to us all. Maybe sometime archaeologists will finally be able to uncover the true reasons behind you liking Fluttershy.
At some point, I opened my DeviantArt page and looked at it, and I was like, holy crap, all my most recent stuff is just filled with pink and yellow.
Not entirely a bad thing. Fluttershy is a fine pony. So moving on, favorite episode, what do you got?
Favorite episode is actually Feeling Pinky Teen.
Interesting choice. That one's actually a quite divisive episode. What makes you go to that one?
The reason I like that one is I like slapstick, and there's a lot of slapstick in that episode.
There's plenty of it. Yep. that is a lot of
also,
anvils.
Part of that is also I like the fact that it calls back to a bunch of Looney Tunes cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
You have a good mix of physical comedy and conflict there.
Okay, that works. And let's see. So the other two questions that you have to do. So you got to explain to me. You sound like a grown man. So so why do you like a show about marshmallow ponies?
Well, I can go two routes. I can give you the story of how I came to discover the show.
Oh, sure. You know what? I like long, complex stories. They're very interesting and fun and make great radio. So why don't we go for that?
All right. Well, I occasionally go to this thing in Dallas called Drink and Draw. It's basically exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of guys sitting around in a bar drinking and drawing. There's a few animation students and people in the visual effects industry there. And I work in the visual effects industry, so it's not that surprising that they tend to hang out together because it's a small world, especially in Dallas. But one of the people there who is an animation student actually suggested that I watch the show, and it took me a few months to get around to it because I was like, yeah, whatever. And then one day I was especially bored, so I thought, okay, I'll watch it. And then before I knew it, I watched the whole season one.
Boredom is the gateway drug to ponies. Just like, I've got 3 hours here. People have been making a lot of noise about this. I guess I should see it.
Right.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on there. So what do others think when they find out that, dude, you're not only are you watching a show about, crazy little, marshmallow ponies, but you're also drawing a whole bunch of it and have a very popular Tumblr. How's that been for you?
I don't know, but one person that I know outside of the My Little Pony fandom that knows that I draw the Tumblr, but a lot of people know that I do My Little Pony fan art and that I watch the show, and they don't really have a problem with it. Part of that, I think, is, again, because I work in the visual effects industry, and if somebody in the visual effects industry is not engaging in some degree of nerdistry, there's something wrong with them.
I just go home and, I'm trying. It's actually kind of sad. I'm trying to come up with like non-nerdy things to do. It's like I like to eat toast. Now somebody could make that nerdy. It's like it's having to go to.
Wait, hasn't toast always been nerdy?
Oh man, just different grains. I like what happens when I toast whole grains opposed to just regular wheat. Like, man, this one's got a nice brown on the top. That's good. I like it just a little toasted, not over toasted. People just obsessing on toast. All right, well, that's cool. All right, well, great to have you on, Giant. We'll talk a little bit about your experiences running your Tumblr and, how that's been, how it's been starting that up, and maybe even some suggestions for a few people about how to possibly, run and promote a Tumblr. That actually could be pretty good. First off, I've got to go ahead and do our sponsor. Our sponsor always is We Love Fine, and we do love them. You can get 10% off your purchase with the code Bronyville10, and that will work for shirts. It'll work for bags, posters. They've got tons and tons of stuff, and they're always coming out with more pony merch for you. Do you know that when I interviewed Jason at Animation on Display, he was wearing a We Love Fine shirt, and I was too, and Chef was too. So it's
sponsored.
Yeah, it's everywhere, and he had that nice one. It was the stained glass of the Six taking out Nightmare Moon. It was actually pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
It was very cool. Just we're doing the interview, and I'm just like, Dude's wearing a We Love Fine shirt. That's pretty awesome. So officially endorsed by the dudes over at Studio B. Boom. There you go. All right. You guys ready for this? We're getting towards news. We're going to have to...
I don't think I'm ready.
I don't know. If Chef was here, we would ask him how on fire things are, and he would say 5 alarm. So I'm stretching. I'm getting ready for this. Let's see how we can roll. Look at that. Even Starry's getting all prepared. Oh, she's taking off the headphones.
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't know where this is going. All right, she's getting up and leaving. Whatever. So, all right.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
It was. I thought she was just going to, I don't know, start sumoing or something in the middle of the floor. So, all right. Let's... Yes, dear. You're away from the microphone and you're still yelling. I told you no. God, she can't learn. I mic her up for this exact reason. All right, so anyway. All right, it's time to talk about Derpygate.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. I'll go through the detail, the gist. And as said, I've been avoiding this all week because, oh man, this has just been a drama bomb ever since it hit Friday. So the basis is the last roundup returned on iTunes, and people were like, "Yay, last roundup's back! Hooray!" They downloaded it, they opened it, and there were some changes, notably to a first scene, where, 1, Derpy's voice had been changed, and 2, Rainbow Dash no longer says the word Derpy.
There were more changes too.
Yeah, there were some changes in Rainbow Dash's words too. What were some of the other changes actually?
Her eyes are actually uncrossed.
Oh yeah, they're normalized some. That's true. So they're completely one-on-one on that. So that happens. People find out. Cue internet firestorm.
That's kind of an understatement.
Yeah, it kind of is. Cue the Derpy is dead, Derpy pics, cue everything. It's been... when it actually happened, I was after like a super long week of work and all that happened, and then I've been on call this week, and it's just been like, oh man, I can't deal with this right now. So I finally started to dig into it some. What we know is this, all right? So Hasbro obviously said, listen, we need to make changes to this episode, and this is what we want changed. We want this character's eyes to be set like this. We want different voice, and we want to remove the word Derpy. In no way does this actually mean that they've killed the character, which I think is the craziest, weirdest claim out there, is that just because they don't use the name anymore, they've killed the character. I don't understand that. If they were wanting to kill the character, what they would have done is completely taken the character out, 100%. She's talking to somebody completely else, and they would have stated, hey, anytime, don't ever put that character in there again. So I want you to go and in episodes that have since aired, don't include her. And that could have been a possibility, but it hasn't. That's kind of the big takeaway I'm on this. My feelings are this, and it's very hard for me to say this because there's a lot of pieces to it. There's a lot of bits of the puzzle. In the end, I am disappointed. There's no way to get around it. It is disappointment. It is disappointing. It's a little sad. It's upsetting. True. But in the end, and God forbid any of you actually think, oh, he's being a Hasbro apologist, blah, 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 blah. In the end, Hasbro decided that this was important enough that they wanted to change it. And agree or disagree, and one, I think the new voice is better. Even if you think she sounds like a ditz, okay. I still think the voice sounds better. They thought it was a big enough importance to make the change. My thoughts are, they decide it's their decision on that. They own it. They can do it. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that was the decision, but it's kind of biting the bullet, and that's what it is, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you completely on that one.
Does it not really bite? Yeah, dude, I don't like it. I'd love for, that was like a great gift. It was like, it would be the way I thought of it. It was as if your grandma gave you $100 and your mom took it knowing that you couldn't hold $100 and just ended up giving you 20 later. You got this awesome gift and it got taken back and you got something that wasn't the original awesome gift.
That's the story of my life.
Yeah, so, and to quell fears, an animator on the show stated, hey, just so you know, there were modifications made. It was a suggestion. It was something that they wanted to do. We're not killing the character. She's still going to be there. She's still going to be in the background. She's still going to be the same character that you have. There was just the recommendation that there were changes to be made. And we don't know at what point in the chain it happened. It could have been Hasbro directly. It could have even been the FCC. If it was them, there's nothing anybody could have done. Hate the feds. I don't know. I mean, at this time on Sunday, we know just that much. But there is definitely a lot of emotion out there, and I'm in it too. I'm not completely divorced of it myself, and I don't want this to sound all doom and gloom and stuff like this. I still love the show and everything. I'm not going to say this is the moment that Pony has jumped the shark, because it isn't. It's just something that happens. It happens in any community, any fandom, any show. Something happened. It didn't go our way. All right. Hey, there's a new episode next week. That's going to be cool, won't it? So, I think that, let's see. Actually, here's a good thing that, hey, GA, would you want to read this? This was actually a really cool email that came in from Beetle Brony. And I thought it kind of summed up everything that I wanted to say, even though I went ahead and said it. If you want, could you go ahead and read this?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Apple Cider, Chef Sandy, and guests. I wanted to shoot you guys an email concerning the Derpy issue. I'm not going to comment on Derpy herself or the fact that she was changed. I am, however, going to comment on our reaction to her and to her change. When Derpy first appeared with lines in the name, many people were incredibly excited and happy, while a small yet vocal group were disappointed or offended. Hasbro hears nearly all of our feedback. They read the comments on EQD and YouTube and read all those emails we send them. However, as an artist myself, I understand how negative feedback like this. A couple guests on your show have commented on how even a single negative comment on their story or song can convince them not to make anymore, despite a large amount of positive feedback. The Brony community needs to act against the negative feedback, not directly, don't go hunting them down or anything. By overcoming with more positive feedback, it takes many positive responses to outweigh negative views of the few. But as we do so, we need to act civil about it. So don't go flooding Studio B or Hasbro's email inboxes with hate-filled emails. Bronies need to act on a united front in a way that does not reflect the negativity on us as a community. One excellent way of doing so is to go over to SaveDerpy.com and sign the petition they have over there. Studio B will continue to make an amazing show for us to watch, and that much we know. The guys over there love the show and the characters, and know how much we love them. However, this incident might limit their ability to make the show as awesome as it was before. We want to show the big guys at Hasbro that they can continue the route that they have been treading with us, and that they should continue to let Studio B, for lack of a better term, pander to us bronies in the perfect way they have so far. Let us show them that let us show them that thanks for all their hard work. Thanks for all the hard work on the podcast. And from B.O. Brony.
Yep. So, I mean, that kind of states it. If you want to go and sign the petition, that is SaveDerpy.com. You can go over there. The last time I heard it was at 800. It's probably maybe up to 1,000 now, as far as I know. And it's, if you want, it's a very civil message that was created between, us over here at Bronyville. It was created for, Everfree Radio, Equestria Daily, Derpy Hooves News. All of us kind of joined together and kind of made this one message that said, hey, listen, this character means something to us, but we just want to get the word out there that, we care about this character because the character in many ways is the community. It is, if you had to say, give me a single picture which, you know, which you could use as a banner, or, you know, give me something that if you showed any Brony, they would immediately know what it was. You would give them, you know, maybe second to a Rainbow Dash picture, you would give them a picture of Derpy. Because, you know, she's synonymous. A little ditzy, a little weird, a little strange, but in the end, they're looking out and they're trying to do the best. You know, and that's kind of what this whole community is. A whole bunch of kind of silly people, you know, that might be a little goofy, might not be the best or the smartest or whatever, but in the end, they're trying to do the right thing, and they're trying to do it with a heart of gold. So, you know. And, you know, pouring on hate and stuff is not going to get anybody anywhere on all this. So, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Derpy stuff. Derpy.
At least her eyes are still derped.
Yeah, the eyes are still like that in recent episodes.
A lot of people are saying they aren't when they are.
Well, they're not as derped. They are not as, you know, as weird as they were before. They still are, you know, off center. And I mean, we even had a lunch with Nicole today, and she had the entire statement of there was somebody with the condition where the eyes are offset, and they were like, I identify with the character tons. You know what? You could just go on and on about this topic because it's a very emotional topic for, I think, all of us. You know?
Yeah, actually, one of my best friends and co-host, Dallas, also known as Lone Star, his eyes happen to be offset. And he absolutely fell in love with Derpy, and she's the main reason why he came into this community.
Mm-hmm. Until we get like an actual an actual email that says from Hasbro, this is what the decision was made. Like, everyone is trying to do what they believe is right. And I've kind of stated this in the past. You know, Hasbro believes that what they're doing is that what they're trying to do is right. Studio B is trying to do what they believe is right. We are doing what we try to believe is right. In the end, nobody is trying to go into this to break things. And, you know, there's nothing to say that they can't just, you know, add her into an episode and use the name Derpy again, you know. If they clear up all the misconceptions and the problems they had before, they very well could. There's nothing saying they won't. They're not killing the character. I hate that term because it doesn't even make sense.
I'll agree with that.
How do you kill an idea?
With a big eraser.
With a mind eraser. Pan-galactic gargle blaster or something. I don't know.
They're watching the Kardashians.
Oh, man. Burn. Sick burn.
A lot of very sharp objects.
Mosquito, did you have something that you wanted to add into there?
I was going to say the only thing that I think they probably should have done to try to clear this up, probably the only additional step that needed to be taken was to just have some sort of press release. Just something official from Hasbro dropped on Equestria Daily or somewhere saying this is what we did and why we did it. Just so they get their side of the story out and there's not as much panic over, oh no, what's going on?
Yeah, that really is the only thing at this point that would really, like, and trust me, us and a whole bunch of people are all wondering what's happening behind that curtain. You know, it's the crazy walled garden of Hasbro right now, where it's just like, we want to talk to these guys, but not too much, and find out what's going on, and we're trying to make sure that they're not freaking out because everyone else is freaking out, and there's just a lot going on. Trust me, a lot of people trying to get answers, and you know, it's hard to make sure that you actually get an answer when there's that much noise. Let's see.
Yeah, and I can give you an opinion, and of course this is just conjecture from
Go for it.
The studio side of things as well. Because in an animation studio, the biggest thing you care about is, does it look cool?
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly the single biggest thing you care about, and I think objectively, I think they actually made it a little worse. Whatever they may be getting.
In what way? With the setting it normal, or?
The voice acting, I think, was less compelling. It was phoned in compared to the original version.
Well, the original version we do know from the past was done by Tabitha St. Germain, and that in that version she actually thought the character was male. Now, sure, that gives it a different kind of sound to it because it's definitely deeper and huskier. I think that comes down to different preferences.
It does, but she still puts some effort into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say that it can't be different. It comes down to different feelings for different people. When you get two options, you're obviously going to have people who like choice A and people who like choice B. If we heard 6 different ways that people,
you can tell also in this case that the animation was done to the voice acting and not the other way around. Whereas in the new version, it looks like it was done reversed.
Where they synced.
As little work as possible to correct it, and it shows.
Yeah.
Because the expressions and they cleaned up the expressions a little bit, but the expressions and body language of the ponies does not match the voiceover as well as the original version did.
Yeah, and that likely was just the time constraint to get the actual episode back out and approved and on iTunes and all that stuff. So
and like I said, it looks like they did as little work as they could get away with to do it.
Yeah, which from judging from her new voice actress, she did well considering the time restraints she had. But just some of the inflections she had in her words just didn't sound exactly right, in my opinion. But that's mostly because I'm a huge voice acting nuts.
Yeah, and the entire thing is unfortunate. That this did have to happen, and it's only going to be a crazy kind of divisive situation. And in the end of the day, it will go down in the halls of the same way that the Star Wars Christmas special did. It'll be the one silly thing that just like, hey guys, come on, I've got the original, the last roundup. Let's go check it out. All right. Starry's starting to give me the spinny finger thing, so I think we have gone on the derpy enough. Go ahead and move forward on this. All right, happier news. All right. So I don't know if you guys have seen these, but first one's just kind of a little bit of self-referential. It's the AOD videos, so animation on display, as I mentioned earlier. These are just videos that are a collection of some of the events that happened. You can find on there, Chef and I, in our meat space form, so don't be scared, actually interviewing Jason on stage on Sunday. Then you can also see the video of Jason, doing his solo little show panel.
He looked so lonely up there.
He did. I actually, if I had the ability, I was going to storm up there. Like, we were like, oh, we need to help this guy. But it felt wrong to just be like, hi, this is Chef Sandy and Apple Cider of Bronyville. We will help you do this panel.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my buddy Dallas, he would just stormed up there anyways and just sat on the table.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that, but when we were definitely doing the special interview, the special 45 minutes, we were like, hey, if you want us to sit on the table, we could totally help you out. And he was like, yeah, man, that'd be cool. I was like, yes, getting it. So yeah, we have that. Also, there's at least one or two other videos done by the Bronies of Northern California, just kind of an intro and explaining Bronies and stuff like that. Intro panel, except that as I understand, the intro to Bronies was full of Bronies, like all of them. Like when they did a hand raise of how many of you are not Bronies, there was a single hand. So it was. It was definitely a brony filled weekend there. So yeah, go check those out. That's linked in the show notes. You can find those linked to to episode number 43 on BronyShow.com.
Yeah, actually, whenever we did our panel at Anime Fest, we had the whole room filled up, and it was an introduction. Every single person raised their hands, and they were bronies, so
yeah,
kind of defeated the purpose.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, this is an introduction to what this is about. Oh, it's full of all of us. All right, well, you guys already know everything, so all right.
Well, time to improv.
Yep. Let's see. So next thing we have the extended MLP intro video. We can post this because it got leaked and put on Equestria Daily, so that doesn't make us the bad guy. So off of the new DVD that's out there. Oh, gotta close that. It's gonna do it in YouTube, and that's gonna make a lot of noise. We have just an extended, the intro done, and it's a whole 2 minutes of Pony. Is that same? I used to wonder what friendship could be, but extended for explaining all the characters and making it sound like they were going to have awesome adventures every single episode. And
so many puns.
A lot of puns.
Oh God!
The Applejack of my eye.
Yes.
Puns are awesome. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Well, I've got a friend. All he does is speak in puns. I'm not kidding about this.
That's my boss. He's awesome.
This guy's a Brony hater, so it makes it worse. But the only part I was happy about was the rarity pun. My rage subsided. I was happy.
It's very saccharine sweet. It's very it's like, all right, this is the intro, I fast forward through, but I'd fast forward through this. It's it's definitely just this is explaining the characters in a musical form to some degree, and all of the craziness that sure do like ponies. Yep.
I think its main role for even being there is just get remixed.
Oh, that'd be good.
I have no problem with this.
All right, I expect a Living Tombstone thing by next week. Have Alex as Living Tombstone. All those guys just go ahead and mix it up like mad. I'm sure they would. Though I still need some good Smile remixes. Do it. That song has been in my head all week.
If it makes you feel any better.
Already a Living Tombstone Smile remix.
I'd have to go check. I need to see.
The Perfect Stallion song's been stuck in my head because I absolutely adored that song.
That's a pretty good one.
It won't leave.
That was really catchy.
Yeah, they were pretty good. All right, passing on to from songs. John Delancey's Brony Surprise. All right, so that guy that played Discord? He didn't know that he was playing Discord. So, John... okay, so get this. All right, so John Delancey, of course, who did the voice of Discord, tells this interesting story. I'm not sure what convention it is. I think
it's Gallifrey.
Yeah. So, he's explaining it, at this Doctor Who convention. He's like, and I'll make this very quick because it's not really related. But he just explains that his involvement in My Little Pony was going into a sound studio, recording lines, and leaving. That was pretty much how it was. And it wasn't until months later when people went, have you heard of this My Little Pony thing? Like, no. Like, do you know you're really, everybody on the internet is losing their lid over this? And what? He completely just didn't know that. He was like, okay. So... that was kind of interesting, but and he tells the story much better than I do. He's a great narrator and drawing out a joke. But you should probably see it. It's kind of interesting. Just Delancey just being like, I just did that. And people losing their lid. However,
Unfortunately for me, my eyes were caught to the TARDIS. It was right in the middle of the stage.
I know.
I was barely listening.
It's like, what's inside there? Is it bigger on the inside?
I don't care what's inside. I just want it.
just
Dear God.
Keep it in your living room. Actually, that'd be kind of like a nice little sound studio. Just a nice little recording booth. Just set that up. Put some mics and stuff.
Or a great refrigerator.
I don't know. It's a little tall for a refrigerator, but...
you just store a lot more food to make up for it.
I guess so. But, I like double-door refrigerators. That one, it'd have to be only a single door. But the good thing, it's bigger on the inside.
Yes.
You open it up, it's a walk-in freezer.
Oh, God, just like my job.
Yep. So that's pretty neat. Last bit of news here. So there's been a little bit of Brony trolling, just to give an FYI. The first one was some Season 3 rumors that turned out to not be. things from confirmations of the origin of Vinyl Scratch, Scratch's eye color, Lyra sitting, more Trixie and Apple Bloom scenes if Trixie was going to return, Scootaloo episodes, and then, Jason coming in and saying, don't believe everything you read on message boards.
Best part was one of my best friends was flipping his lid over reading all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he wouldn't shut up. And then finally Jason comes on, and he was so depressed. I just couldn't stop laughing. I felt horrible, but I felt great at the same time. So it's quite a conundrum.
Yeah, the chef and I were actually coming back from a trip to Muir Woods, which is north of San Francisco. And we were just driving back, and he was like, oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff, about this and this is going to be in season 3. And it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then, 30 minutes later, flips up his phone. And it's like, it's all fake. I was like, all right, well, that doesn't surprise me either. So, and then Tara Strong kept trolling us, too.
That was beautiful.
She's so good at it.
I know. Well, look at the character she plays.
Mm-hmm.
She plays so many trolls, it's not even funny.
Let's see. Yeah, she keeps posting of just like, here's me in a swimsuit, and she'll post this one of the characters that she's played in a swimsuit, and just like this and this and that. Look, I'm
Or she'll be
naked.
like, here's one of me in a diaper.
Yeah, it's like,
and she's poof.
Oh no, look at this one, I'm naked. I was a cheerleader once, and then I was another cheerleader. She's just me with glass. And it's all just picture of characters that she's done, that she's played. And she's just having a big fun with it. I think some of the best ones that have come out recently was it's quite clear to me now that pony lovers rule the internet. And the other was, don't worry, Twilight will thank you all in her acceptance speech tonight. So
another one of my favorites from hers was actually to Butch Hartman, creator of the Fairly Odd Parents, talking about how they finally been ponified.
Mm-hmm, that was true, and they replied back, "Oh, dude, finally."
That was beautiful.
It's like about time, jeez.
God.
I may have to get a Twitter account just for that if she keeps it up.
Dude, Twitter's
awesome. That's the only reason why I got a Twitter account, is to follow people.
Twitter's a fun place to be. I tweet all the time, or I try to. It's just busyness. She's now trying to get Bronies to attack Chris Rock. I don't know how I feel about this.
What? Oh, God.
Bronies, we have a new enemy, Chris Rock, for the total lack of respect for talent and the beloved career of voiceover artists. Attack! She challenges Chris Rock to whatever. She's having such fun with us right now. All right. Well, you know what? That's going to take care for news. That was plenty of it. I think you got your fill of information about the ponies this week. You can have a dime of that or something. So it's time to talk about books. It's fanfic suggestions. It's stuff that you should read. And guys, I got one for you. Just to give you a thing. Usually when I read fics, I read like a chapter, and if it's a multiple chapter thing, I go, that was good. I bet the rest of this is good. So I started by Imbullshit's recommendation. He pointed me to The Games We Play, which is a romance/sad fic, though it's not particularly too sad. So it's not wah wah cry. It's just, moody. It is shippy though. And it is about a pony dressing up as Mare-Duell again, and the entire thing is who is in the suit. You don't know. And who is, is messing with Rainbow Dash, who obviously doesn't like whoever is, going around gallivanting in that suit again. It is 22 chapters long. Do you know how long it took me?
God.
It took me a day and a half. Because I was just like, I need to find out what else happens. Flip to the next one. No, more. I needed to find out more.
Was it Darkwing Duck behind the suit?
Yes.
I got enough.
Actually, that leads to the other fun ones, which is the supplementary materials / alternate endings. This is far more silly, far more goofy, But there to do the once they pull off the mask, it is another mask. Pull off the mask, another mask. So if you want, there is a very serious, very interesting, and pretty long read. The games we play, it is definitely engaging, and don't. It's one of those where you may go in going like, I know exactly who it is, and if it changes, but just.
Basically, you'll be like the M. Night Shyamalan me.
Well, it's not like a twist, but it's if you go in going like, I know who it is, it's totally that, and it changes. Don't go with the author and just be like, good, but no, it needs because of this. Ooh.
Don't worry, I'll probably end up throwing my phone against the wall once that happens.
Yeah. So, you know what? As said, I don't read much fic. I haven't even finished Allegoriza, which I absolutely love, and yet I got so entrapped by this one, I read 22 chapters in a day and a half. So, there's your thing, the games we play, link is in the show notes. Jay Hoof, what do you got?
Okay, I don't know if any of your other guests or anyone else has said that, read this on before, but it's called Nightmare State of Mind. I read this several months ago. It's basically a Nightmare Moon version of Rarity, and she's created her own city, and she's sabotaging Celestia, and it's just amazing. I can't explain it without spoiling it.
If you had to give me tags, what tags would this have?
Nightmare Moon, Rarity, of course.
Are we talking grim? Are we talking dark? Are we talking?
I don't think it's grimdark. I haven't read this since August, and I just remembered about it.
Is it moody? Is it like give us a tone a little bit?
I just looked it up. It's apparently just a normal fic.
Interesting.
I forgot about that. And there's some really cool artwork that people have done of it so far. So I highly recommend it if you're a Rarity fan and you enjoy seeing a more evil version of Nightmare Moon.
Mm-hmm.
One that's willing to manipulate her subjects into thinking that she is in the right.
Wait, I want to scroll back up here. Favorite character, Rarity. That
has nothing to do with
likes
this.
A fic where Rarity goes crazy with power.
They have nothing to do with each other, I assure you.
Sure, yeah. A wag of the finger. All right, Giant, what about you?
I got a thing for strange crossover fiction, so... That said, I wrote down that Stargate Equestria for my recommendation, which, as you can probably guess already, is a Stargate / My Little Pony crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, in the fiction Stargate SG-1, the team ends up going through a Stargate and landing in Equestria and then having to save the ponies.
No, not the ponies. Why are the ponies in danger? Damn you, Gaul.
I can only say so much without spoiling it.
I don't know how to say it. I never watched Stargate.
Because you're lame.
I'm not a huge Stargate fan either. I've seen several episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be hard-pressed to name any of the characters in it, honestly. But I really did enjoy this one.
Starry being...
There's a lot of action. There is a little bit of implied human-pony shipping.
Woo.
Nothing explicit by any stretch of the imagination, but...
David, no! All right, well, that works.
Oh my god, he has a bad habit of doing that, too, anytime he's on an alien planet.
What, just falling for just somebody, just like, I fell in love with this alien,
Yeah, he has a bad habit of that.
But David, she's a horse.
I seem to remember just about every character in Stargate SG-1 having a Captain Kirk moment.
Yeah, Captain Kirk was kind of a hoe.
Yeah, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh. So, yes, actually we have had people request Stargate Equestria. I actually have suggested it over to Starry before, but she refuses not only to read fic, but especially crossover fic. She hates it. Why you hate?
I love crossover fiction. It's especially the weirder the crossover. Like, there's no way they could make this work.
Let's see. I'm trying to come up with a really weird one. Besides, like, Star Wars, like, adding in some other cartoons, like Fairly Odd Parents or something like that could be interesting.
The one crossover fic I'll ever see is, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the game series called Xenosaga. One of my favorite games of all time. I doubt I'll ever see a crossover fic of it.
I don't know. I've seen some weird crossover fics, dude. There are some weird ones out there.
I enjoyed the My Little Pony Sonic the Hedgehog one that Twilight Snarkle did.
Sonic. No, don't take me back there. I'd have to see it with my own eyes, and I'm not sure I'd even see it with my own eyes. All right, let's move on. It's topic time. So, Giant Mosquito, we got you on, and thank you for being on this episode.
You're welcome.
So it's time to talk about Fluttershying and Tumbling. So you have a pretty popular little Tumblr there of the Dr. Adorable's Ask Along blog, what's the address for that, by the way?
That is ask-dr-adorable.tumblr.com.
Hooray. And let's see. Let me just go ahead and go through the basics. Was this your first Tumblr?
No, but it's the first Tumblr I actually used.
All right. And what was what inspired you to go for this? Obviously, I can see, given that you like Stargate Equestria and your love for crossovers, it seems a little bit obvious that you would want to do a crossover of, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog and ponies.
Right. The thing that happened, how do I explain this? It was Dr. Adorable's Ask Along blog was born of a conversation that I had on IRC with the My Little Pony training grounds people. I'm active in that group, and we had joked around about Fluttershy having a PhD in adorableness, and it snowballed from there. We came up with the idea about the same time as the Fluttershy's Brand New Day pony music video hit YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took me a week or so to decide to actually go through with the idea and make the blog.
Yeah, you just went ahead and put it up.
I love Dr. Horrible. I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, no. Go ahead. I mean, I was just going to add, so you just decided to smack two great tastes that go great together.
Exactly.
So why, of course, the Dr. Adorable obviously goes, straight to Fluttershy. What about some of your other choices for, some of the other characters that are out there?
Rainbow Dash as Penny was pretty much directly inspired by Fluttershy's Brand New Day. And I also thought it would be fun to find a way to shoehorn her into that role because she is nothing like Penny.
See, the
showed
opposite Penny.
Up much in the blog yet, except in flashbacks.
Are you going to...
But,
and since it's a Ask Along blog, are you going to have like a lot of what was weird about the sing along blog was all like the musical numbers? Are you going to like incorporate or do something? I mean, obviously you can't do a sing along on the blog, but I was kind of curious like what you're going to do, maybe related to that or ish that. I don't know.
I had toyed with the idea of seeing if I can con some Fluttershy voice actors, or fan voice actors rather, into recording music for it. Mm-hmm. I would love it if that were to happen. That would be so awesome. That would just thrill me to death. Otherwise,
Oh,
Barring that, I would skip the musical numbers and just keep doing what I've been doing.
just keep on doing what you're doing. Jehu, if you had something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you want, I can talk to the Vinyl Scratch master recording guys and see if they can find some good voice actors that are willing to lend their voice.
All right.
That or Hannah from the Meetup group, who is the voice of Vinyl Scratch. She knows a lot of good voice actresses.
Making connections on air. So how long have you been doing the Tumblr? This particular one?
I believe I started on November 1st.
Okay, and how many watchers or followers do you have right now?
I have just over 5,100.
That's doing pretty decent.
That is way more than me.
I topped 5,000 while shortly after the last actual content that I posted.
Mm-hmm.
I unfortunately have not had a chance to do something for it, but now that I'm mostly settled into my apartment and waiting for internet, I can draw something nice for everyone to say thank you.
There you go. So you've obviously got what I think many would consider a pretty popular and pretty bustling Tumblr blog. Is there any suggestions that you would have for someone out there that might be dropping in a Tumblr blog?
There's really not a lot to say. One, the art blogs tend to be a lot more popular than the non-art blogs. So being able to draw helps. One of the best things that you can do is, if you want to become successful quickly, is to attract the attention of someone who's already much more successful than you and get a shout out from there.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's a large part of Dr. Adorable's success, because Atler, who does Ask the Pie Sisters, reblogged the first post and suggested that everyone go there.
Hey, sweetie, you should draw something for the blog, and then everybody can come to you. Starry? AskStarry.tumblr.com. What was that? Did you say shut up? I didn't. Whatever. So
the other thing that's important is to make sure you update regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't update regularly, offer an apology or explanation so people know that you're still alive and you didn't just abandon it.
Do you find particular types of Tumblr blogs work better, or of course you do one that's kind of cute with a little bit of a storyline tacked in there. There's obviously ones that are a little bit more zany, like the Blue Blood one. There are ones that are much more cutesy, like I would say the Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy. And then there are the insane ones I won't talk about, that we all know are there.
I don't know that there's a lot of difference between popularity between different, I guess, the subgenres of pony tumblers. The not safe for work ones tend to have not as many followers because they're not safe for work.
Because you can't look at those at work. I mean, come on.
Oh, you can. Right. You just have to be really sneaky.
It also depends on your work.
Yep.
I could probably get away with looking at them at my work, but I would just get teased mercilessly. So.
Bronyville does not support looking at NSW Tumblr blogs while at work, or probably at any time. or per our arrangements with Hasbro, probably not ever. So, just an FYI. All right, so let's see. Is there anything else out there? Any questions you got, J-Hoof, or anything else you wanted to say, Mosquito? Maybe even shout-outs? Oh, no.
I don't really have any. Okay. Mostly because I get to see him pretty much on a monthly basis at the meetups and stuff.
Oh, you meanie. Pimping your Texas meetups. All right, Giant, did you have anything?
Stand out, too. I'm sorry, what was that?
Anything you wanted to drop out there before you run to emails?
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. All right. Well, we can go ahead and move on. So, of course, no episode this week. So what you are getting this week, of course, we have been stating and wanting to do this for a while. The next time that we got a little bit of a break, we would do an email show. So guess what? We loaded up with double the emails you usually get. So it's email time. And
email time.
Yep.
Email time. Email time.
All right, somebody remix it. She just did it.
What? No.
Make it into a bumper.
No.
You know what? Even M could probably take it and put some beat on it and make it an awesome bumper, and then we could just hit it every single time.
Shut up.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh, there you go.
Better get Brony Mike to sing along with it, and then remix even more.
There you go. It's gonna become a thing.
Hate all of you.
Great.
All right, so you can always send email across us to bronyville@gmail.com and go ahead and send us this. Giant is unfortunately unable to read his email because he is simply by phone. So myself and Jay Hoof will alternate back and forth on these. So I shall start first. Tickety down. Let me look at this one. Salutations, Apple Cider, Thomas Jefferson, and guests. To get the formalities out of the way, I love the show and everything you do for the community and believe that you have the best Brony podcast available. With that out of the way, I was hoping you could help me out. I am an aspiring writer, meaning I keep getting ideas and never take the time to write them out. And I continuously think about ideas for fanfics. There's just one problem. I keep wanting to insert myself into the story. The main idea behind that is my being, though unknown means, enters equestrian, must figure out how/why it happened, and how I can find my way back to my own reality. However, the consensus in the fan community is not in favor of the use of this because of rampant Mary Sues that invest fanfics. While I would hope to write myself as a complex character with flaws and ways to improve, but being that it's still self-insertion, my fanfic would not be the best it could be. My question is, should I focus on how I work my fanfic to not include myself, or do my best to fit myself into the world, or just work on writing my ideas out? Continue your excellence in all things, Pony. Your loyal listener, Vaudeville.
I actually have an answer.
Well, I'll let you. Postscript. Sorry, Sheffers, but Twilight is the best Pony and Starry Night is the best Bronyvillian. There can never be too much Starry Night. There. Are you happy? I let you
And
have
I get to answer your question.
Oh, isn't that great, honey? What do you want to say?
Okay. When you're a writer, I find the writers who do the best are the writers who use their own experiences to create a more emotionally fulfilling story. So even though, yes, it is frowned on to self-insert yourself into a story, you can create a character that has the same aspirations and ideals and can be very much like you, but with some changes to make the story more interesting, like conflicts that you probably wouldn't have, but make sure your character has them to make them a little more complex and more interesting for the reader. So while, like I said, you can't write yourself in, you can write a character very heavily inspired by you to make up for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, create, what is your pony name? I am Thomas Orwell. Don't do a straight carbon copy. It is me in Equestria. Flop around. I used to be a guy.
But Thomas Orwell is best pony.
Hello, I am Thomas Orwell. How are you? But you know what? Having self-insertionism is frowned upon, I think, by many. It can be done right, but there is a lot of cases where it goes wrong, where it is, hi, this is my self-insertionist pony, and now me and Rainbow Dash are boyfriend and girlfriend, and everybody just goes, grrr!
Self-insertion.
No. All of you giggled.
I would agree with most of that. I just want to add a couple of things to it.
Go for it.
The hardest part about adding, especially if you're going to have yourself interact with or not necessarily yourself, but any original characters, if you're going to have them interact with, like the main six. The main six already have a large amount of characterization already done for you. So, in that sense, it's a lot easier to skimp on the characterization and the character development because it's already there. And then your original characters will fall flat next to them because you have to do all that work yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, unfortunately, it stands out that much more whenever you put your own characters next to the show's characters as opposed to just having them all be your own characters.
Right. I've actually been kind of pondering the idea of actually doing some, like, Chef and Sandy stories. And when I was pondering, like, how I would incorporate the main six, I was like, you know what? I'd be far more interested to, like, characterize, like, hey, Lyra and Bonbon come over. You know, what would that be like? You know, pull in a whole bunch of these, hey, it's Junebug, and, you know, just pull in a whole bunch of these background characters that had nothing that really happened, but I could play with them and be like, no, but their life is like this. And, you know, oh, hey, Pipsqueak showed up. And, you know, you could play with these that had, you know, minimal to, like, no actual talking time or screen time and just have fun with it.
Right.
Yeah, my best advice is start with characters that have a blank slate, like Lyra, Bonbon, stuff like that. And I think if you want to incorporate any of the main six into a story where you self-insert yourself, I'd say try not to interact with them that much, because I agree with everything you guys have said. And also, one thing, at least for me, I don't worry about what other people say about anything I do. I just say, do it for yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to write it, then write it. You'll get a couple of fans. Any fan-made content is going to get a lot of haters, but the few fans you get, you need to cherish them.
And you know what? Everything's a learning experience. Even if your first, you know, nobody, you know, hits a home run the first time they go to bat. You know, it's all about practice and, you know, giving it a shot, you know. So you very well could come out of this and people you know, always look for constructive criticism. Like, that was a good fic. There were some things wrong with it, but these were the things I like, and these are the things you can change. And those people are golden. Love those people, you know.
Yeah, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Mm-hmm. Just try not to write anything that'll make them want to hunt you down.
Yes,
that's the best advice.
Yes, those usually end up being quite contentious, one would say.
And the thing is, if you have other fans around you that hate your work and were witness to it, they would lie, and the person would get away with murder.
Yes. All right, Hoofy, what do we got next?
I would say keep making it. Because one of my professors in college said you have to make a lot of crap, and eventually your crap will become less crappy.
And sometimes making them have an emotion, even if it's like anger, is still you getting an emotion out of them. The worst thing I think anybody can do is read something and go, whatever. You know, if they come back hating it, at least you got them to have some emotional response to it.
Right.
So,
because the worst response is nothing at all.
Right. All right, Hoof, what we got next?
All right, time for everyone to hear more of my lovely voice. Hello, good bronies. My name is Maya, a.k.a. Dizzy Spell. I have contacted you with a question I would love for you and your guests to answer. My question is this. Do you think Discord got what he deserved in Elements of Harmony Part 2? I don't think he did. As much we love it when the main six prevail, Discord was a spirit of chaos, just as Celestia and Luna are the spirits of harmony. He was just doing what he was born to do, create chaos. I believe that Twilight, as the element of magic and friendship, could have talked to him and become his friend. He could have continued, but reduced his chaos making a little bit. Maybe this is just because I love Discord, but this is what I feel. Pony out, Dizzy the Spell Unicorn. Or Spell the Unicorn.
So, Discord, did you like how it went? He started in stone, he ended in stone. Let's see. Let's go, Mosquito. How'd you feel?
Oh man, you would have to ask me this one. I don't know. I don't have a lot of sympathy for Discord.
Yeah, he's kind of a bad dude. I mean, opposed to Nightmare Moon, who is just a corrupted Luna, he was just like, yeah, I've been here, I like screwing with you guys.
Chocolate rain, you guys. Chocolate rain.
Well, his unapologetic glee at ruining Twilight's life.
Yeah, just like, yeah, whatever. Look at that. Look, all your friends hate you now. What's that about? Huh?
Right.
You know what? To some degree, I thought they were going to friendship canon him back into some form of I shouldn't do this anymore. But don't you think that them putting him back in stone just makes it so you guys could do whatever you want? I'm just saying, fanfic-wise, it's really weird the Discord didn't seem at all worried that he was going to be encased in stone again. I don't know. I think
it actually started happening.
Yeah, I think the ending is fine. You know, I think at first it took a little bit of me going, you know what? That's all right. You know, there are certainly some people or some things out there that are malevolent and are going to continue to be malevolent, and you simply have to deal with them. You know, I think this wasn't a case where, you know, a healthy dose of hugs was going to fix anything.
The hugs fix all.
Yeah, but not this case.
Oh. Well, my opinion about it is that I do think what happened to him should have happened, because he is the spirit of chaos. You can't really become friends with that and make him do less chaotic things. It's in his nature to do it no matter what.
But he wants to get better. He learned to be chaos from all the sad fic I read. He started out
I just like to think he's a reincarnation of Q, but that's just me.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense. They sound really similar.
I know.
All right, I'm going to move forward. Dear ponies in your universe that love the internet, a.k.a. Cider Chef and the wacky guest of your choosing. Listening to you guys' latest episode, you guys finally talked about closet bronies. Could you please elaborate more on the subject? And if you don't do it for a reasonable amount of time, there shall be a storm of randomness coming your way. Discord laugh. From the weird and wacky MLP poet, Brony 2. Yeah, we talked about just people who like the show but don't really talk about it or keep it caged. I don't know. I mean, there also was the entire thing that was stated about people who try and treat, like, stating that they are bronies like they are coming out of the closet, which irritates me. Because that's kind of annoying. Because it's you liking a cartoon. Ooh. It's not as life-shattering. You know, yes, it is weird to like a cartoon that's meant to be aimed for little girls, but, you know, people like weird stuff.
Just look at the Japanese.
Yeah, really. Man. Yeah.
I just got done watching several of their commercials on my live stream channel, and weird.
Yeah, really. How many like card captor
Sakuras? All the foreigners make fun of American commercials during the My Little Pony stream.
Yeah, really. How many, like, grown adults love, like, the Cardcaptor Sakura and, like, all the other, like, cutesy little girl turning into thing, need to catch other cute things
in
show?
Japan, probably a lot.
Yeah, a lot of them. You know, it's just kind of like, these are just, you know, cute, kind of neat shows. You know, it's very, at least, you know, Cardcaptor I could use. It's an extremely feminine show. You know?
Arigato.
Yes. So, you know.
Kawaii desu.
Yes.
Kawaii.
What's going on? So, you know, I think that's kind of all there's to say on that. You know, it's just, you know, if you want to tell people you're a brony, do it. If you don't, then don't. Be as open or not open as you want. It's not a necessity that everyone knows that you're a brony.
Unless you're like my friends, then everyone has to know you're a brony.
Oh, that's just because of you.
I like to think that, but trying to be a little.
Yeah, I'm not like that. I don't think I've even worn a My Little Pony shirt to any of the meetups.
I don't think you have.
I am wearing one right now, and I wore it out in public today. Yeah, very casual.
I'm wearing one right now too. But...
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Walmart shirt. I feel left out.
As in working at Walmart shirt, or?
Yeah, I do work at Walmart, unfortunately. I work in a freezer, so.
Ugh.
Ponies surprisingly, I listen to only pony-related stuff when I'm in the freezer on my iPhone, and it keeps me warm.
Wait.
Not only that, everyone at Walmart knows that I'm a brony because of all my pins and stuff.
So they lock you in a freezer, and for 8 hours you work in a freezer?
Yep. Negative 35 degrees.
That sounds like torture.
Oh, trust me. Just work at Walmart's torture.
Yeah, there you go. That's Bronyville does not have any feelings, technically, about Walmart.com if they had wished to become a sponsor at some point. No, not really. So, yeah.
I did that for 11 years, so I don't miss it.
All right, Hoofy, go ahead and get the next one.
I like my nickname. I'm going to start using that.
Do it.
Okay. Greetings, AC, CS, and any awesome guests you may have. Why, thank you. That's so sweet. I absolutely love the last episode, and the I Need an Adult and the radio announcer moments had me in tears. Before I say anything, I would like to say Brony Apple Cider. Halo Brony. Rage out of the way. I think I need to address something you touched on the last episode. Yes, it is just a show, and we really shouldn't react like that. If, say, someone were to like Dora the Explorer. Oh, that's weird. But let's face it, some of us, me included, are still in high school, and kids our age are extremely quick to judge. While admitting to being a brony is nothing like coming out of the closet, most kids my age will treat it as such. My own parents think I'm insane for watching it and avoid the topic when brought up, be it accidental or otherwise. While 25-plus-year-olds tend to be more inclined to sunglasses, deal with it, teens are just too quick to judge, and I will not be admitting my bronyism anytime soon. I think I'm putting too much thought into this. No matter. Thanks for reading. We all love you guys. Halo Brony.
I don't know.
Rainbow Dash is still best pony. Very weird to say this. Very weird way to say rarity, especially since rarity is one word. As shown in my Bad Flank Cutie Mark wallpaper, link in his little description thing. But Pinkie Pie is quickly approaching that position. She is so crazy.
So, yeah, it's a little bit of continuation. You had something to say there, Miss Starry?
I don't know about you, but when I was high school, I didn't really give a shit what people thought about me. And yeah, maybe I got bullied by 1 or 2 people, but for the most part, nobody really gave. Yay.
I love how many yays you're adding into this episode.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even know I was cursing. It should come so naturally.
I'm listening to this.
I love it. I love it. She's such a dirty mouth. I am. But yeah, kind of the same thing. If you don't feel like you have to, you don't have to. I mean, kind of that's for the reason that, there's so many meetup groups and stuff like that. If you want to meet somebody, see if there's people locally who want to meet and talk about the show. I mean, I know that we're all passionate about it and want to talk about it, so go find a group to do it. But if you don't think the people around you are going to understand or be comfortable, then don't.
I mean, I hung out with a bunch of kids who played Pokemon out in the schoolyard.
Well,
and
hey,
nobody
Pokemon
gave
is
them.
badass.
Okay, but let's face it, it's still a kid's show, and they're playing a game meant for kids. Just saying.
But Pikachu is best pony.
Oh, whatever. No. It would be Ponyta or Rapidash is best pony.
Rapidash is pretty good pony.
I love my Dark Rapidash card.
Yeah, there you go. Anything else you guys want to add to that, or shall we move on?
As for me, when I was in high school, I was a theater kid. Everyone knew me as such.
You're so mean!
My nickname in high school was the theater stalker, because I would never leave the theater. I was always there.
Of the opera.
Essentially, I just didn't have the money for the mask.
The Brony of the opera is here.
But personally, no one ever gave me any problems, but that's probably just because I grew up with most of these kids.
Oh, never mind.
And I never gave them any problems, and they never gave me any. As long as you're not in your face about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think it's important to keep it in perspective. At the end of the day, it's just a cartoon. It's a pretty awesome cartoon. I give you that. It's very well made and very entertaining, but at the end of the day, it's not the same thing as coming out of the closet at all.
Oh, no.
I'll tell people I watch it if the subject comes up, but I don't make a big deal out of it.
So shall we repeat the Mystery Science Theater mantra? Repeat to yourself, it's just a show, I should really just relax?
It is just a show, and you really should just relax.
There you go. That mantra has worked so well with ponies. Ridiculously well.
Life.
A shout out to all my nerdy peoples in the house, yeah.
Word. All right, I'm moving on. Dear Apple Cider, Chef Sandy, and possible guests, first off, I would like to state that Pinkie Pie is best pony, and this is why she is hyperactive, outgoing, and loves to make people happy, like me. Okay, now to do what I wanted to talk about, as I'm sure you know, and you'll notice these three all kind of tag together, so, you know, they're all kind of... they're all in tandem, so here we go. As you sure already know, high school kids like to make fun of people, different people whenever they get. Just yesterday, I wore this shirt is 20% cooler with a rainbow dash on it, and someone recognized it and said, and by the way, Em, you're going to have to go ahead and take care of some of these. Oh my God, this likes a My Little Pony. Yay. I didn't care at first, but it got a bit bad because the insults were constant. Even though I'm an open bisexual male, I do take offense to people who use homosexuals as an insult. The question here is, what should I do about all this besides tell a teacher or something? Should I just try and explain to them about the show, try to make them watch an episode like Lesson 0, one where it really goes away from this is a show for little girls, or just go in with my day and ignore them to the best of my ability? Love you as always for being awesome and for being 20% cooler. Just to add to that nickel jar of yours, your faithful listener, Dr. Rainbow Dash Alex. P.S. Don't hate too much on Chef for liking Rainbow Dash. She and Chef are cool ponies too. P.S.S. If you happen to know anyone that knows how to make shirts, this must be a shirt ASAP, and a link is included. So yes, these three go together in some magical way.
Darling.
What?
You must not care what other people say to you, because you know what? People who are mean and ignorant always say shit, but guess what? If you just ignore it, it goes away. Trust me. I used this. It totally worked for me in high school.
Yeah, don't approach them and be like, hey, come on, guys. You want to watch an episode? That's not going to go well for you.
No. Bullies, the only way to deal with them is to ignore them. Unless they're punching you in the face, then you tell a teacher.
Yeah, that's where it kind of crosses a line.
Yeah.
Don't. I mean, if they're going to be like that, then if they're going to be a double Gilda, then let them be a double Gilda, you know?
Double Gilda?
Double Gildas.
Double Gilda all the way across the sky.
That's worse than Gilda. It is double Gilda.
The Gilda has been double.
Everything you can do is throw it right back at them. If you have something else to make fun of them back for, that occasionally works. But, you know.
Yeah, well, football is bad.
Okay, but the thing
nobody cares about lacrosse.
Okay, but the thing you're
you.
supposed to teach kids is not to stoop to that other person's level. Because guess what? When you're an adult, you can't do that.
And these people will be working jobs as mechanics. And no, not to make fun of mechanic-ing people that are listening. They'll have very bad jobs and they won't be fulfilled in what they do. Mechanics are
I don't
good.
think you
Please
guys
don't
really
mess
want me to give my advice to Dr. Rainbow Dash Alex.
No. Do it. What's your advice?
No, I don't want a bunch of yays.
No. You can totally... Yays are fine. We can yay you.
I was just going to say stoop to a lower level. But I'm mostly joking. I just ignore.
Yeah, just ignore them.
Or get one of your friends who is crazy... I mean crazy, psycho toy crazy, to pay them a visit.
Okay, you guys are bad mentors for kids. Bad! bad.
I like to think that I'm at least a decent mentor.
You're telling him to scare
I do
him.
agree if you're dealing with, in a lot of cases, ignoring can work, but sometimes it doesn't. And it's context sensitive, really. Sometimes you need to tease them back, and sometimes you need to just ignore them. And
if
I don't have a good answer as to when the best course of action is.
If it is
sometimes
something,
one works, sometimes the other.
If it is something that is constant, I'd say a good thing to do is probably just keep notes of it, of like, this happened and this happened there, in case it does get, something, if it does get to something to a, serious point where you could be like, look, this is a diary of every stupid thing they said.
There you could just tase them.
Don't tase me, bro.
Yes, old
Exactly, they'll
joke.
screen that. And then you can record it, put it on YouTube, and make money. You win both ways.
J. Hoof,
Yes.
read the next email.
I hate reading. Hello, AC, Sandy, and any guest honorary. I just finished listening to episode 42, and all I can say right now is, oh my god, Eurobeat came back. Yay! Hey, okay. But anyway, much time has passed since I last sent you an email a few months back, and since then my pony music collection has grown to 15 plus hours longer. Wow, that's a lot. I'm no longer the solitary Brony. Yeah, that's very impressive. At my school, and after getting another 2 to join the herd, but still copping a lot of flack from the other 100 or so people in my year level, and I go to an all-guys school. I'm sorry, bro. But I still enjoy bringing in any different pony figures every single day and watching how fellow classmates and teachers react to My Little Pony. Seeing as we're nearing the back end of the season, I have a question to ask. What would you think the villain of the 3rd season will be? For me, I'm thinking that one of the main 6, probably Twilight, will go dark, and it'll be up to every pony else to bring her back to the light with much friendships. Anywho, keep up the great work with the podcast, and on a side note, my school just happens to be having their house swimming competition next week, and with me being in the light blue colored house, this could only result in me sticking up Rainbow Dash all over the place, whether the other people in my house like it or not. From the still sleepless listener, Zoomcar. P.S. Rarity is still best pony ever, 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 ever. That's 4 evers. And wow, this guy completely caught what I was going to say. He's psychic.
Oh, you. That's just happenstance right there, sir.
I call witchcraft.
Okay. Yeah, witchcraft is totally correct. I might call shenanigans, but I'm holding on it.
Witch.
So, let's see. What do you think a good villain for the 3rd season would be? I'll go ahead and start. I'll let you guys brew on it a little bit. But I think a good one would be something along the lines of, they have... So a lot of these characters have their own kind of dream scenarios, where Rainbow Dash has this dream of being a Wonderbolt, and, I'm sure that Applejack probably dreams of, taking over and owning a farm and, things like this. Twilight being, better at her spell casting. Rarity being a very well-known and famous fashion pony. And I think it would be interesting if we had a villain who had the ability of just like, sure, I'll give you exactly what you want. I just have to take something back in return. And you
kind of like a monkey's paw kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like you get exactly what you wish, but you end up sacrificing something, and
like the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, something like that. I think that would be a great lesson of just like, listen, it's good to have dreams, but don't lose who you are in the process of acquiring them. I think that would be a great story to tell. And I think it's easy enough that anyone can kind of collect it, as said, Little Mermaid style. So you guys heard me rattle on. Do you guys have any particular ideas of what would be a fun villain? Silence. They all agree. They like my idea.
I got an idea for an episode title,
okay,
but I'll probably get lots of hate for it.
Go for it.
Trixie 2. This time it's personal.
Raw flip desk.
See? I told you.
Most rage. Get off my call.
Aw.
I'd be mildly okay with Trixie showing up at some point again, I guess.
If it makes you feel any better, I wouldn't. But that's just because my friends love Trixie, and I have I'm naturally inclined to hate things people like, or the opposite, so...
I like to troll Seth with just nobody cares about Trixie. Yeah, I know.
But in all actualness...
I was joking. I haven't gotten anything on Equestria Daily since I posted the Dr. Adorable thing that cast Trixie in a bad light.
That's true. So ever since I've been more anti-Trixie, I haven't seen my stuff posted as much. Seth?
Seth, you've got some splaining to do.
Oh, Ricky!
Oh, goody.
I don't know if there's much truth to that, because really, I've only done had time to do a couple of pieces of Phony really good artwork since then that are not directly from Dr. Adorable.
Yeah.
I hope for that to change now that I don't drive an hour and a half to work every day.
Yeah, well, that'd be kind of good. I don't know. I think that'd be a fun idea for for villains.
That would be a fun episode.
Mm-hmm. So
that would be a fun episode.
Yeah. So, all right. So, yeah. Except, okay. Let's see. How can I do this? I am just putting it out there as an idea. If it so happens, individuals at Studio B, I am claiming no knowledge of this idea. And it's completely free use for you to use. I completely relinquish all of it to you if you so happen to listen. I do not care for the copyright. I would just like to see it happen. You can do it and claim it and change it as much as you want. I claim no copyright. There.
I, however, shall do the opposite and ask for only $1.
And
just because Walmart does not pay a lot. And $1 can go a long way.
And they sure don't. All right, let's see. Was it me this time? Yes, that would be me. All right, next email. Dear Chef Sandy and Apple Cider, like always, you guys are doing a wonderful job every week. I enjoy you and your guests when going to and from work. It always lifts my mood while dealing with all these old people trying to drive in good old Florida. Now, this might have been... Okay, this might have been me missing something, but I don't think anyone mentioned a great reference in the Hearts and Hooves episode. Big Mac's hopping is an easy nod to Pepe Le Pew from the old Looney Tune cartoons. Either way, just thought I would throw it out there. Now for a more important topic. Did you know that someone is trying to make a traveling museum exhibit of all the community art? The creator, Inky Notebook, wanted to get this thing up and running and needs everyone's help, so please take a look at the idea on Equestria Daily and let's get this thing going. Here's the link to get everyone along. Link included in the show notes. Hope all you are doing well and look forward to more amazing episodes. Your loyal archivist pony, Dusty Hollinger. P.S. How does Chefestus sound? Chefestus is all right.
It sounds Festivus.
Chefestivus for the rest of us.
That's a Brother Bear song.
Yeah. What, Chefestivus?
No.
What? What is? Explain. What is a Who song?
Never mind.
All right, good. Bringing the thunder there, Starry. So yeah.
Under, down, under.
Yes, very much. So yeah, there's some contact information and a link to an EQD post. So yeah, it looks like they're thinking about doing a traveling pony show. All right, let's see. Your turn there, Hoofy.
Well, I just got one thing to say about that.
Oh, do it.
If it does happen if it ends up happening, there has to be a pony art theft. Just an art theft. I don't care what of.
Just somebody in stripes, just me, and just sneaking around.
Yes.
All right. I guess somebody can do that.
Do it. I will pay money for it. Not really.
You will pay money for someone to steal things. Then you would technically be an accomplice.
Well, by money, I mean hugs.
Oh.
And my hugs aren't worth very much. Okay, I'll go ahead and start this.
Would they be worth $1 Walmart dollar?
$1 Walmart dollar is worth about 100 pesos. So that tells you how much they're not worth.
All right, go and hit the next one, Hoof.
Okay, fine. I'll do that. I want to continue, but fine. Hey, Bronyville, I'm totally going to plug my cool Tumblr idea. Merg. Is that even a word? I'm not even sure anymore. It's come to my attention that pony-centric art blogs have become increasingly popular on Tumblr. The Brony community is incredibly artistic, and there are many ponies who are trying to get into the MLP art scene and need a boost. There are many ways to post and share pony art online, but the peer editing process on what we do have doesn't seem to be as supportive enough for all the ponies out there who can make great art, but don't have enough ponies telling them what's good and what needs to be worked. What I'm suggesting is an MLP art blog that showcases quality beginner artwork for the peer review and support to both give pony artists the publicity they deserve and as well as the proper criticism that won't make ponies want to stop drawing. If any pony wants to help get involved in this project, please check out the Pony Chan threads, which are in the show notes. And
don't worry about saying the email on the air.
Okay, good. Okay, pony on, guys, and thanks. P.S. There's hopefully juicy makeup question for plugging my stuff. How many canned ponies do we know can break the fourth wall? Is it really just Pinky?
Yes, it is just Pinky. That has been confirmed by Jason. She is the only one that is allowed to break the fourth wall.
Well, there can only be one.
Yes.
And in order to do that, you'd have to cut off her head. And I'm pretty sure they do not allow that on a children's show.
That would be that. The last time a horse was chopped off, it was in somebody's bed, so that nobody was happy then either. That's
something we'll never see in My Little Pony.
Nope.
Thankfully.
Yeah, so go check that. That's some stuff. Actually, I think Mosquito, you had you have something a little bit later. It looks like it's for people wanting to get better at their artwork. Is your one cool thing, which we can plug that a little bit later, if I'm correct.
All right.
But yeah, there's that, and yeah, just Pinky. Let Pinky be the one that breaks the fourth wall. It makes it funny that everybody else is normal, and she's just like, look, there's two of me in this scene.
My God. Terrifying.
All right, let's see. Let me hit the next one. Good day to you, that magnanimous apple cider superior, Steph Sandy, and extraordinary lucky guests. I'm emailing you today because I noticed new hair animations in the most recent episode, Season 2, Episode 18. If you notice 15 minutes or so into the episode, Twilight and Dash have bouncier hair than normal. In fact, recently I feel the season seems to have had an upswing in animation quality. More background detail, newer animations such as the new CMC walk and the skipping in the past 2 episodes. It just seems like the show in general has had a lot more effort put into it recently, and I was wondering what you have noticed and what you have liked or disliked. Thanks, and have a B-E-A beautiful day. Pico Pecan Pistachio Pie. Yeah, I mean, the number one thing, that dance, that trot during the smile number, I love it. I love it so much. I love that smile walk. Just looks so good. Yeah, it's all looking a lot better.
Dumb hips.
I have opinions on this.
Okay, go for it. Do it.
I agree the animation quality has gotten a lot better. I like the overwhelming majority of everything that they've added and refined. The one thing I don't like is some of the new mouth shapes that they started using more this season.
How so? Explain the mouth shape.
The worst of it was at the end of the Find a Pet song, where they had the big creepy smiles.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sometimes those get a little odd, but I mean, sometimes I don't know. I don't mind them so much just because they do kind of feel out of place. But if it just reinforces in my head, oh, this is a silly cartoon. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. I can deal with it by saying they're trying to be very Broadway. Like because, in Broadway musicals, they tend to have the over-exaggerated facial expressions and the huge smiles, and they keep their eyes really wide. So, I'll
the
go
only
with that.
one that kind of creeped me out was in Hearts and Hooves Day was Scootaloo whenever she jumped into the air and that facial expression she made me fall out of my chair. I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
One of the great things about this being a Flash cartoon, though, is because the assets stay. It's not like you have to draw every frame every single time. They can spend a lot of the time and money that they spent building assets for the first season, and the second season they can spend that time and money refining things and making them cooler.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
which is a great advantage for using a Flash type workflow.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, they can build and refine and do more things. I mean, that's why walk cycles and that was actually one of the reasons I added this was just because when we talked to Jason, one of the things he was like, yeah, when we were doing the show, we were like, the animation for the hair has to be really good. And it's funny that that happens, and then we get an email about, yeah, did you notice the hair animations look better? It's like, oh, Jason, working on that hair more. Well, still
they're just using better conditioner and shampoo.
Yeah, really, it's got more bounce to it. A lot of body in that conditioner. All right, I think that's probably good for that one. Yeah, just some new stuff. I like it pretty much. Even as said, even the dopey stuff, the stuff that kind of looks a little off. I'm like, oh, that's just silly.
It just makes for great reaction images.
Oh yes, God yes. All right, your turn.
Yay! Hey, Bronyville Podcast, I have some news. Here's a link to the MLP Wiki for episode 21. Dragon Quest, which that title had me completely confused. I thought it was based off the Dragon Quest games.
Yeah, me too.
I was wrong. Here's a link to my fic I started writing after the Daring Do episode. Link in the description. I feel sad because I predicted the future again. I just want to let you guys know, as of writing this, my second part is about to come up, but I'm sad that I now have to put alternate universe tag. So, sigh. Lol. Thanks for your time, and now for my question. During the current episode, A Friend Indeed, I had seen a certain part of the episode that I thought about. During the episode, Pinky had used a record player, and then I'm seeing another one in the later episode, and then jumped into 80s workout uniform, leg warmers included. So I have a question. Since Shirley had also had a memento from that time period, do you think that they're about the same age? Or was she just being random, like the rest of the wackiness in the episode? Plus, Pinky will always be my crazy little plushie that I will like forever 4 times. Unless Trixie comes back, then she'll have to fight to the death to keep her title. Wow, that's kind of mean.
That's rather brutal there, sir.
Yeah. From Apple Gothic and his younger brother Bullet Speed from the wondrous
Sheeraddle.
That's it.
Punned out. Flip.
Okay, sorry, but leg warmers have been back for at least a decade, so she could have just went to the store and bought them.
But the colors...
Don't tell that to the 80s.
Yeah, but the colors are very 80s.
Have you not seen the leg warmers that they've been making?
No, because I don't try and buy leg warmers.
Okay, well, I do, and they come in those bright colors.
All right. So maybe it is just modern stuff. I
thought it was kind of a play to Flashdance a little bit.
Maybe, yeah, very well could be. I don't know. They very well could be the same age. I mean, it's all very ambiguous. I mean, there's nothing to say. The only characters that seem that we can kind of like put in a hedge of ages is like the princesses are super old, and then there's like the adults. Or there's like the old characters like Granny Smith. Then there's the not as old characters, which is almost everyone. And then there's the, fillies and colts. And then there's the babies. That's it. Who knows? It's arms up in the air at this point. Sure, she could be at the same age as Cheerly. No?
Well, judging
I go a
from
bit further and at a middle-aged characters in there too, because like Rarity's parents.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Yes, they're
and what's their names? The Cakes as well, because she has the same sort of mannerisms and body type, I guess, as Rarity's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, judging from the Cutie Mark Chronicles episode, we saw a Pony that looked like Cheerly, and her and Rarity are about the same age. So they could possibly be the same age as the other main six. So
it's just any pony that was possibly in G3 is older in this episode and in this series, and you just carry it over. So Rainbow Dash is in the same time frame as Cheerly, and then you just, extrapolate everyone else from that, and there you go. Age by association.
And besides, I like to think that the 80s haven't died yet.
Sweetie Belle.
We don't talk about Sweetie Belle.
Sweetie what?
We don't talk about that. That just confuses everyone. Don't talk about Scootaloo. God, you're ruining it. Let's see. What else?
It's insulted if I like to poke holes in other people's theories.
Yeah, the theories get fun. They just get deep for a show that's, about marshmallow ponies. Everybody's just so passionate about this stuff.
Nom 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 nom.
Yup. All right, last one.
Don't nom 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 on the marshmallows.
Hey guys. Well, I'm pretty sure that this will not be read on the show. Saying that you have like a gazillion other viewers emailing their random crap. But I wanted to bring something to your attention. First of all, love the show. I literally listen to it whenever it comes on iTunes for days until I hear all of it. Personally, I think y'all opinions are the best generalization of the fandom as a whole, and I salute you for promoting safe and friendly talk shows to bronies everywhere. Anyways, I have recently noticed that all of your guests seem to be middle or younger men, except for Fee from Equestria Daily once or twice. It appears that y'all never have any girls on the show.
I'm chopped liver!
Seeing that I am a 14-year-old girl, it sort of bothers me sometimes. I feel like the show is missing out on an entire other side of the Brony fandom. And to be honest, girls have it a lot harder than guys. We face totally different challenges and sometimes see things differently. Despite that which some people say, this is not just a mandom. There are females who love it just as much or more than the males. I am not trying to hate on anything. I said I love the show. I just can't help but feel a little left out. Not sure if it's even possible to get a young girl on the show or whatever, but maybe you guys could at least look into it. You're a slightly upset but ever faithful fan, Tidal Wave. P.S. Ha. Y'all were probably expecting to say my favorite pony. Well, I'm not. It's a secret. And an addendum, second email. Just this message. Sorry to that one girl in the background. I didn't even know that she was part of the show. I feel bad for saying that girls have it worse than guys. I was just a little put off. Just to clear some things up, I basically meant that girls just don't get the same amount of love as you guys do in the fandom. Also didn't realize that you guys had other girls on the show, but either way, that 7 or 8 girls and over 30 guys, it doesn't add up. Again, I didn't want to offend you. Perhaps if I should have waited time to see if you guys had another girl besides a random background girl to vouch for me. I'm also really happy that you're going to have some other girls in the future. Sorry for ignoring any of you guys on the show last time. I honestly never thought you guys would even look at that. Your faithful listener, Tidal Wave. Let's see. Oh, I missed it. P.S. Random girl in the background. I'm sure she has a name. I just don't know what it is. It's awesome. We need to hear more of her fantastic randomness.
Random girl in the background?
You know what?
Yeah, it's a better title than what I have.
You know what? I never mic you up because you just like to yell.
But you always say my name. I mean, like, how long has she been listening to this podcast?
Now, don't hate her. She loves us.
I don't hate her. It's just like random girl in the background. I feel like I have to now be Starry Night, random girl in the background.
Yeah, random screaming girl in the background who hates apple cider's guts. You're mean to me sometimes.
Somebody has to be mean to you. Everybody else is super nice and thinks you're the greatest thing in the world, which you're not. I live with you. If they had to live with you,
Honey,
they would know what I had to go through.
Let's not air laundry in the show.
I was about to ask her, are we going to have to edit this out?
No, we're good. I like the silliness from random girl in the background, so.
I hate you.
Oh, that was mean.
Her name is Starry Night. Go to askstarry.tumblr.com and go harass her. Tell her that I'm Best Pony.
AC, you
Yes.
gotta make a Tumblr for her named that.
It is. It's up. She's been
No.
posting stuff.
No, random girl in the background.
Random girl in the background.tumblr.com. Hi, I just talk about stuff.
You're all gonna burn.
I know we will.
Fiery flames of hell.
Well, you know who isn't in fiery flames of hell? That's the people who gave us 5-star reviews on iTunes. That's
Worst
Wait,
segue ever.
That's the best segue ever.
Worst.
Forget you.
Wait a second, I was one of the first to do that. Does that mean I'm not going to burn in hell? Because I was
No.
kind of looking forward to the changing climate from a freezer.
No. You're gonna have to stick where you are right now. So, 5-star iTunes Bronies, I want to thank all 513 of you. That's super cool. We hit the 500 mark, so woo! Keep up at it, guys. We want to get up to 600 now. Eventually 1,000 would be cool. I'm not bragging too much, but you could go on there and put some more, get us to 1,000. I mean, come on, it's not that hard. But yes, super cool. Thank all of you who have left us review on iTunes. That is super fun. And now, the end of the show requires one last thing to progress to the very end, to finish this up, and that is the one cool thing. It is the cool thing that we offer to you as our last thing. If you didn't pay attention to any other part of the show, why, you should go check these out. There are these really, really cool videos where somebody does a musical remix of each of the main characters, and they've done pretty much all of them now. And this one is Strive Like Applejack. They did the other ones like Race Like Rainbow Dash and, some of the other ones. And I like AJ, and this is cool. Like, all the musical the music they chose is perfect for her, and just the zooming out and the cropping of scenes that she's in, I love it. It's some great video work. I adore it. I'm going to add another one just as a personal tee-hee. Pixel Kitties, who is always a super cool fan of ours and awesome artist. She did a Study in Pinky comic, which includes Chef and I down at the bottom, as if we were summoned randomly
During a podcast
with our headphones on.
You even got an egophiliac there.
Yes, there's many. Fetch Beer and many others actually are in there as well.
Where?
Yeah, rare. I've been podcasting a while. My jaw is tired.
Nom 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 nom.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to offer. You should go check that out. That is in the show notes down there in the One Cool Thing. Jay Hoof, what do you have?
All right, this is self-plugging. Take that as you will. I know you're out there giggling right now what I just said. See? But I run a podcast called the Rowdy Rough Bronies. We're a conversationalist podcast. Basically, we're not as organized as this. We just talk and talk and talk, and people occasionally listen. But we've been on a month-long break because my main co-host, he's been having some trouble, and work has been killing all of us. And we're finally coming back after a month-long hiatus. And we're hoping to have everyone listen to our, this is a crossover fanfic that was done in less than 4 hours, but it's called Ponies in Space, helping everyone to listen to those. You can kind of guess what it is.
Did you know your website has a misspelling?
I knew someone was going to point that out. Okay. I'm going to have to tell this story now.
All right.
Thank you.
Yowdy Rough Bronies.
I'm dyslexic. And on Podomatic, whenever you type in your web address, you can't change it after you've hit submit.
Oh!
Second I do it, I realized I put an E instead of an R. So my grandparents hear a random string of yays, if you will. And so now all our fans refer to us as the Yowdy Rough Bronies.
That's even better.
That is kind of good.
Howdy, Rough Bronies.
Hey. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rowdy Rough Brony Show, where you can listen to some bronies talk. Yowdy.
Howdy.
Oh, you.
Oh, my God. You have to put that as a catchphrase at the end of your podcast now. Howdy.
Damn it, now I do.
I'm making connections. Woo. All right. Well, Giant, what do you have for us? We alluded to this.
Yes, I have the artist training grounds. If you don't know, back in last June, maybe early July, my brain is fuzzy. I've slept since then. There was a event where a group of people tried to help people learn how to draw ponies. So they went through like a month of you draw pony doing this, pony doing that, pony doing that, something else, and then by the end of it, you are a whole lot better at drawing ponies than you were at the beginning. This is the people responsible for that have carried it on at the My Little Pony Artist Training Ground alumni group on DeviantArt. Every week they have a new event for pony artists and aspiring pony artists. There's no prizes; it's just participation. And then, if you want feedback, you're certainly welcome to ask for feedback or submit it to the for critique folder in the group. And also, if you join the IRC, there are always people there willing to help you with more or less helpful critiques. I tend to be pretty harsh. And in fact, I ask people how harsh they want me to be beforehand, so I don't overdo it.
You meanie face.
But there are a lot of people who are a lot more tactful than I am.
All right, that sounds pretty good. So what do you think about that, Chef? Random
Sounds like it was a pretty good day to be alive.
Oh my God, Chef.
How was your day, sir?
You weren't supposed to return. I was supposed to take
I'm okay. What was in that dinner you made?
Don't worry about that, Chef. Just go.
Why was I in the basement?
Go back to bed, Chef. It's late.
Oh, okay.
All right, good to have
if you insist.
Good to have you
I
guys.
made the basement as comfortable as possible. I even put up a couple pictures of ponies.
There you go. Well, good to have you on just for the very tiniest bit because it's funny. Let me go ahead and do the outro. So I want to go ahead and thank, this is the end of the show. Thank all you guys. I want to thank first Jay Hoof over there for showing up and being a cool co-host this week. Hey, dude, thanks.
I thank you.
Howdy.
Yes, I want to thank
Yowdy.
Starry for randomly yelling things into her own mic this week. Thank you. I also would like to thank Giant Mosquito over there for showing up and bringing up the Tumblr information.
All right, thanks for having me on.
Awesome. And also for Chef for showing up and being tired. You seem like you had a long day.
It's been a very long weekend.
Yup. We know how that goes. Well, if you want, you can always follow us over at BronyShow.com. That is our webpage. If you'd like to send us an email, that's Bronyville@gmail.com. Leave us an iTunes reviews. We talk about you, and we thank you, and that's really cool. My Twitter happens to be Bronyville, and Sleepyhead over there, his is...
Chef Sandy.
Our meetup groups are Bronies of Northern California and the North Texas Bronies, and we intend on going to Everfree and Northwest in the coming months. And that's it. That's going to be episode number 43. Hope you guys have a good one. We'll be back. We got more episodes next week. We got to talk about Fluttershy then. But for now, you know what we need to do? Sleep well, every pony.
Adios.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Whoa!
Yep.